Reed Sheppard, for our Houston Rockets, put on a show against actual starters for the Atlanta Hawks. How much stock do we put into a preseason game? That is really hard to tell, but I'm of the belief that after Kevin Durant, the person who is going to determine what this Rockets season is, more than Amen Thompson and more than Alperen Şengün, who you are expecting to both be good to great players, it's Reed Sheppard, because Fred VanVleet's out for the year, probably, after tearing his ACL this offseason. This is a huge year for Reed Sheppard. And Reed Sheppard last night was fucking awesome. I can't believe how good he was. He finished with 29 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 7 steals and blocks. He's not the biggest, but this is a guy who has a lot of skills, can play a little defense. Here he is. Here are some of these highlights, and hopefully we don't get copyright struck for this, but I mean, Reed looked great. He's pulling up threes from on the fast break, stealing, dunking here, driving by guys, right to his left with the left-handed layup, passes underneath the rim, another catch and shoot three, a runner, another catch and shoot three in transition, shooting over a guy who's taller than him from three. He had 5 threes in the game, cross-court passes, another dunk, another three, crossing people over and shooting fadeaway jumpers like Allen Iverson over them, pulling up at the top of the key like Chris Paul, offensive rebounds and putbacks. He was awesome last night. And while some of that game, I'm sure he wasn't going up against starters, watch the highlights. He looks good. At some point this offseason, and I think this was in a Kelly Eco piece in The Athletic, somebody wrote that he's got Steve Nash upside, which is a wild thing to say, right? We're talking about a former NBA MVP. And the comparison was basically, well, like Steve Nash, Reed Sheppard didn't play a whole lot his rookie season. So I decided to ask artificial intelligence about Reed Sheppard, Steve Nash comparisons. And they gave me about 2 pages. You can read along with me here. Reed Sheppard, the Houston Rockets rookie guard drafted 3rd overall in 2024, has drawn frequent comparisons to Hall of Fame point guard Steve Nash due to similarities in their playing styles, particularly as sharpshooting playmakers with high basketball IQ. While Nash was a 2-time MVP, Sheppard is still early in his NBA career, but has shown flashes of similar traits in college at Kentucky and his initial pro outings. Shooting efficiency and range. They excel as elite shooters. Playmaking and vision. Nash, known for his elite passing, Sheppard has shown similar court vision and unselfishness. Some people see Sheppard's feel for the game, scouts, as Nash-like. And then when it comes to defensive instincts and athleticism, Sheppard is probably better than Steve Nash. That is his ceiling. In the eyes of some, Reed Sheppard could be Steve Nash. Others are saying, well, Reed Sheppard could theoretically be Jimmer Fredette. I love hearing all of that. I think maybe starting with the Mark Price comparisons that we were hearing coming out of college would be fantastic for this season if we want to see the Rockets go where we hope they can go with Kevin Durant year 1 with him, hopefully more than just 1 year. As I was making these comparisons with Steve Nash, do you know what came up as suggested as a follow-up? Chris Paul. I mean, Grok is sipping the Kool-Aid. Reed Sheppard, writes Grok, The Rockets' third overall pick in 2024 has openly cited Chris Paul as his favorite player and a key influence on his game, modeling aspects like court control and selfishness and high IQ playmaking. Paul's a 12-time All-Star. Sheppard's a rookie with similar traits but differences in athleticism and their role. Comparisons often highlight Sheppard's potential as a taller Chris Paul with worse passing, or a modern, less athletic version based on scouting reports. Playmaking and vision, they've got it. Shooting efficiency, they've got it. But Paul, mid-range maestro, writes Grok, which you saw in those highlights from last night. But Sheppard's mid-range pull-up is apparently very Chris Paul-like. He trained with Paul last summer. That I didn't know. Paul was a really good defensive player. And some people think that Sheppard has some of those same instincts. And if you take a look at the steals and you take a look at the blocks, not the craziest thing you've ever heard. Not the craziest thing. So look, we all got to take a step back. You got to tuck it in the waist, man. Got to relax for a second. We are talking about a rookie who's barely played. But how could you not be excited about what Reed Sheppard did last night?